Thanks for joining me for this edition of the Church Security Answer Man. I am so glad that you're here today, joining us to talk about your security questions. That's on the topic today. And I want to remind you, it doesn't matter how big or small your church is, your church security team, the principles apply the same. So I'm just glad that you're here. So let's jump into this. Our question for today comes to us from Chuck is outside. So thanks, Chuck, for sending in your question. And the question is, how do you ask someone to leave? So let's discuss that really quickly. And as we're getting started, I also want to remind us that this episode is sponsored by the Church Security Academy. Go over and take a look. I'm involved in this group. It's kind of a mix of groups that's putting this information together for you to give you some training abilities or training opportunities. And so go over and take a look at what they've got there for you. Link in the description if you're on YouTube. Otherwise, go to the churchsecurityacademy.org. So getting back to that question, how do you ask someone to leave? And to me, it's all about this balance thing. And we can have straightforward conversations with them. One, if you're looking to cover your bases, to make sure you did the right thing or whatever, is just have a basic conversation with them. Explain to them if it's a drug issue, they're under the influence. If it's a mental health issue, they're loud, they're outbursting, whatever the case may be, just have a simple conversation with them. From my experience, these people know that they have an issue. They understand that. They know they're under the influence. They know they're being a little bit loud. They've probably been told or diagnosed that they're schizophrenic. Whatever the case is, they understand it. So in the process of doing this, we can add something they probably don't get a lot, which is some compassion. We can add that into our conversation with them, be balanced, warm, welcoming, but yet at the same time, we're having to tell them they can't be here. So direct. You're under the influence right now, it appears to me, and I care about you. I want you to hear the message, but also right now, I can't have you in with our families and our kids and our elderly folks. We need to have you leave at this point. So let's go out to the parking lot and I want to talk with you some more. So I'm still being nice. I'm explaining the situation. And again, the experiences I've had with these folks for different reasons, from drug to mental health issues, is because they understand it. So the experiences I've had with them have gone pretty smooth as long as I show some compassion for them. That's what they don't get out on the street, out in the real world. They don't get people who are compassionate or nice to them or warm to them. And we can add that. We can't have them here, but we can add that to the process. And so, we go out to the parking lot is where I would take it as quick as you could. And you want to make sure you have a second person there with you, just somebody watching. And I've seen as many as two people out in the parking lot with someone and two of our security team members looking out the windows, making sure everything's okay. So plus we have our radios. So whatever it is, some kind of visual, and certainly if it's a female and you're a male, you want to have a female there somewhere watching you at all times during this process. So go out to the parking lot, have more conversation with them. If you want to witness to them, if you want to share your message with them, I think that's a great time to do that. You're safe out in the parking lot. We can do that. Or if you want to send them along on their way, I understand that as well. So, but there's an opportunity for you. And I have always invited them to come back when they resolve their situation. If they're not under the influence, if they're able to calm down and not be so loud or not outburst, then hey, I want them to come back. And don't forget, we always have the option to meet them somewhere else. Take a couple of you, go if you want to witness to them, if you want to share your message with them, then you can go and meet up with them somewhere. And there's always that option as well. So they can come back, explain that to them, or they can, you can meet up with them later, or you can just let them go. I've gone all three different directions. And I've even, tried to seek out some of these folks after we've had to have them leave. And I know which area of town they're hanging out in. And so I've even tried to seek them out afterwards to kind of try to have another conversation with them in a caring situation. And so there's really a lot of options. It doesn't have to end once you ask them to leave. And to me, so far, it's been very easy to explain to them and be kind and ask them to leave. So thanks for joining me for this edition. I hope this helps you answering your questions, and send more questions. Put questions in the comments, and I am happy to share with everyone what your questions are. And I think that you should take a look at this video right here, and this will help you continue your viewing, continue your studies with us.